What's up, YouTube? This is ShapeSnatch93. I'm coming at you with a deck profile. This is Dino Rabbit. This is pretty much Yugioh's build from Seattle. A couple of things in the side deck and the extra deck, and I think I teched one card on the main deck. This deck profile is I really want to go in depth with like how good this deck is, this format. Because people really underestimate this, and it's really a force to be reckoned with. I took it to a tournament today. We played 5 rounds, and I went 3-2. I lost in top 4 to windups. The guy drew Magician Sharks game 1-3. I was able to win, or 1-2. I was able to win game 2. I just grinded him out eventually, and I outplayed him bad game 2. In game 3, I guess I was really just starting not to care. I misplayed a couple times, which really let him go off and stuff. So we'll get into the deck profile. Double rabbit. It's self-explanatory. It's rabbit. Let's see if we can get that zoomed in. Tour guide. It's the heart of the deck. I run Assailant Nocturno, simply because we don't have Avarice. He's come in handy a lot, actually. I ended up bringing out with Tour Guide and Book-a-Mooning him, and then flipping him next turn. It was pretty cool. And then the Sangan for the Tour Guide is just broken. The other dinosaurs, the normal monsters. I was playing a deck with Hydra over Cobbles, and I liked it, but I always seem to draw Tour Guide's Rescue Rabbit. So it's like the one's already dead, so next we got 3 Guaibas. Yugioh's explanation of this card couldn't be any better. I was thinking about playing Thunder Kings and stuff like that, and the best thing Guaiba has for him is he's a dinosaur. So many times, I can set the Kabazul and then just summon him, even if they don't have a monster on board, and summon Lagi or Dolka, and sometimes that seals the game. Plus I'm playing the macro version, so Thunder King can be dead, so Double Reaper. This saved me so many times. I was playing against 6 Sams, first turn he goes shenanigans, Sheehan set 3 pass, and I was able to draw him out with the Spear Reaper. I was able to stall him until I got to stuff like at a point where I could afford to waste resources and try to push through his back row. But that sat for a while, and it saved me so many games against Shockmaster and stuff. You just set this and you're fine. Double or triple lands. The card's too good not to run at 3. It's just so good over the next card, which is MST. Because I usually try to save MST for the quick plays, or not the quick plays. The continuous is kind of like decreases if anybody plays Abyss Squirrels if you're playing against Atlanteans. The Wind-Up Factory, stuff like that, and I use the Chalices for the Lances for the Deep Prison and stuff like this. This card's unbelievable, Soul Taker. He won me a couple games because, like versus Insectors or something, I flipped macro and then I played Soul Taker, and I ended up banishing a couple. I think I banished the Hornet, and he had the Dragonfly, but the card's good. It stops a lot of your opponent's big threats. Dark Hole, Monster Reborn, Heavy Storm, Book of Moon, Dino Rabbit. I feel like these are all staples. The book is just, it gets in there. The rest, I run Monster Reborn, and I don't run, and I run macro, but Monster Reborn's too good not to play. And then we got the one tech is Chalice. Yugioh's build was not playing this. I'm a big fan of the card. I think it's stupid broken when you pretty much turn your Lagia into a Dolka for a turn, in a way, with face down, stuff like that. You flip this damage step or damage calc, whichever one they activate in, and their effects are negated. Going to double torrential. This card's stupid. You can play around your own so well, and then when your opponent goes off, you flip the torrential. Now I think it was Fraser Smith back last year where he said torrential wasn't good. I really beg to differ, because this really punishes bad players. Yeah, most of the time you have a big board. But I think about it like this: I have a Lagia, and I wasted his material, so it's already netted me the -1, and my opponent summons a monster I don't like, possibly something that can, in a way, get over this Lagia. You flip torrential, and you can summon a 1900 beater, 17. You can poke with Reapers. The card's just got endless uses in this deck. And then we got the double warning. It's kind of obvious in this deck. And then we have double D-Prison. Trying to get rid of the glare for you guys. There we go. Card's broken. It really is. I love it a lot more than Mirror Force. It just seems like Mirror Force is so... it's easier to play... I feel like it's easier to play around Mirror Force than it is D-Prison, because a lot of times you need it gone out of the graveyard. Just out of the game. Plus it can set up some weird Leviair plays with your own tour guides. You know, you flip this on a Thunder King. You can bring it back and have your own. I like that kind of combo. The card's good. I like Bottomless. This card is different. You go back and forth if you want 1 or 2, and you want to see if you can play something else. But I always go back to 2 because it stops the big threats that you don't want to waste a Lagia and negate for. And I think of it more or less like this with Machina, Machina Gadgets, all that stuff. When they drop their big monsters, you flip the Bottomless, and you plussed. You know, they go Fortress, you get them out of the game. Yes, they can chain Lance, but if they have it, you know, they're not going to have Lance for double Bottomless, double T-Prison, and stuff like that. So, and then double Macro, with Atlanteans coming out, it's retarded. It really is. It beats your opponent's Veilers, which is few and far between. But I played Insectors today. I played Mermails today, and I just tore them apart because I main deck Macro. I also played Gustos. I actually lost to the deck. I mean, the kid's a great player. I didn't see this. I saw it at the the final stages of Game 3. So it really didn't help. And then we're going to go to the 1-ofs. We have Starlight Road. I was playing Chalice over this, but I just realized how many times your Kabuzuls and your Saber Sources get hit by Bottomless. Or Torrential, you flip this, the game is over. Like, you get that Stardust and the game is over. 1 Compulse. I mean, I've been back and forth with this card for a while. 2 seems okay, but there's absolutely no room. I could take the Chalice out, but that's just a personal preference of having that having it. I simply like the fact that you can make your Sabersaurus 2300 for this turn, which is really hard to get over. And then we got Judgment. This deck is so control based, you have to run Judgment. Now the extra deck. I don't know Georgie Orlando's extra deck, but this is mine. Double Lagia, double Doka. That's just kind of obvious. Now I just put this in about 2 seconds ago before I made this video. Roach, although it can't stop Abyss Megalo, you know, it can stop Bowling Glacius. It can stop synchro, so it's okay against samurais, even though they could overlay to get over it. What chaos dragons are still left? Stuff like that. And I believe it can stop Fortress, because Fortress doesn't start a chain, so it should be able to stop Fortress. And I don't know about Greffa, but I'd have to check. But you know, there's not much space. But I'd rather use it. Cowboys broken. The fact that you can bump heads with BLS, one of this deck's main threats, is amazing. And then the single reason this deck will consistently beat Atlanteans or Mamals or any version of the deck is because of the Best Dweller. The card is absolutely ridiculous because you can chain it to anything. Your opponent activates Dark Hole, you chain this, you're safe for that turn at the least. And then you're free to either try to make Dulka next turn or something like that. It's ridiculous because it's a quick effect. That's really why. And then we got Pepple Operative to flip those stupid Spirit Reapers. And then Utopia because you have to run it in the later stages of the game. Sometimes you're just forced to play this. Leviathans, Zenmaines, Tempo, Levier. I main extra deck these two. I wasn't mainly extra decking this one earlier, and it cost me the game against Windup because I did flip the Starlit Road. This, I don't like siding extra cards. Like, it's just not a preference. Like, it makes it so obvious what you're doing. So I try to keep it low key. Now, without getting too many new sleeves in there. Alright. And then this is my side deck. This is close to the build the side deck Joe used. Double Snowman Eater. It's just so good against the mirror. Against samurai, stuff like this. This card is always in my extra deck. I was playing frogs, and this was in my side deck. It's just so good. It's just so unexpected. You know, sometimes, I mean, game 2 it's a little less obvious what it does, you know, that is down there. But if you protect him, the game's over. I won my 6 samurai match because of this card. I set it, and he had Beast and Sheehan on the board, and I downright set this, and he attacked right into it and said GG. Double Maxi. I didn't see this against windups, but it's always good to have. Then we got the Cyber Dragons. It's just beatdown. I like this in the mirror match because you can force out the Snowman Eaters with this, and then go into your Rabbit. Scores, I guess, because some decks, the decks that aren't affected by macro, like to spam, and you can side in Maxis and Gores. Third Macros Cosmos for good measure, I'm assuming. Against Dark Worlds, Mermails, Atlanteans, that whole shindig. And Insectors. You flip this, you can protect it for a turn and game over. Now I'm citing double, I'm just going to do all these together. Double Dust Tornado MST. This is for Gozen match and Messengers of Peace. I really hate those cards. Gozen match, Rivalry Warlord, stuff like that to slow this deck down. And then, you know, random decrees if you get to chain the Dust Tornado, and plus, you know, chain burn. You can usually it's obvious which is their, you know, either their chain or their you know, stall cards, so you can usually space those. And then this for good measure against the Chaos Dragons that are left. They're few and far between. This could work against Machinas, just because they're really trying to protect the 2300 beater, or 2500 beater, so I guess this could work. I haven't sided it in against them. I'm trying to make room for Nobleman to cross out, because the card is really good. I played Gustos today. I wish I had Nobleman in my side deck, but I couldn't find room. So anyway, yes, this deck is very powerful. It's got a lot of good matchups. And it's okay against windups. I feel like they're slowly losing their hype almost. This deck, you can basically grind out the windups, because there's a lot of mid deck choices, that Joe made, that was good, especially like the Compulse, which is proactive opposed to reactive, and even the not that card, this one. The Soul Takers was another great choice I think he made. Book of Moons, it's obvious, but it's so good against Shockmaster, stuff like that. I'm thinking I'm going to take this build to Garden City, which is, I think, 2 weeks away. So I know if you guys are there, you want deck profile, shout out, something, come find me. Many people know me by this map because I played Monarchs for years. Obviously by my later videos, or earlier videos. So if you see me, hit me up. Up but opposed to